Okay, task 1.2 says that we have to write object-oriented program code to implement the classes, and we should use validation and error trapping wherever appropriate. So these are the two classes that we have to implement, right? And a test class must have an object of the question class, right? A test class must have an object of the question class. Therefore, the first class that we are going to create is going to be the question class. If we don't have a declaration, if we don't have a definition of the question class, how can we create the test class? Because part of the test class is the question class. So first thing that we are going to do is we are going to declare the question class first, and then we are going to declare the test class which can use this question class. As per the diagram that has been provided to us, right? As per this diagram and as per the detail that has been provided here, right? This detail about the question, what we can safely conclude is that these are the attributes, right? So these must be a part of our class definition, all of these attributes. In the exam, he might give you additional attributes, but these are always going to be a part of the questions class, right? And then these are the methods that we have to implement. So it's pretty straightforward, right? When we are going to define our class, then we're going to include all of these attributes, and then we're going to include all of these methods. What has not been given here is the constructor, right? So we'll also have to create the constructor method for this class. So that's what our solution is going to look like. Alright, so this is our solution, and these here are the attributes, right? All of these attributes have been declared as private, which is very important. Then this here is our constructor, right? This is our constructor. In the constructor, we are passing two parameters, right? We are passing two parameters, and these parameters are being basically used to assign initial values to question ID and topic, right? So this is what we are doing in the constructor. As soon as an object of this question class is going to be created, the constructor obviously is going to be called, and the question ID and topic are going to be initialized. These two are going to be initialized within the constructor. Then if we take a look at this diagram, within this diagram, one of the methods that we are supposed to implement is the set question method. So that is the only method he has given us to set or to assign values to different attributes within the question class. So there's only one set method, a setter method, right, that he's given us in the class definition. So we're going to use this set question to assign values to the question text, right, to assign values to the question answer, and to assign values to the marks of the question. So these three attributes, all of these three, we are going to focus on in this set question method, right? We could have done these separately also. We could have written a separate method for set question text, right? And then we could have written a separate method for set question, or we could have said set answer, right? So that could have been a separate method for us. And then we could have had set marks, right? So we could have implemented this differently also. These three would have been okay too. But just going by what he's given me in the exam, what he has given in this diagram, I am just going to follow this, right? But this is also an acceptable solution. We could have done this through three different methods. So I'm going to take one method, and within this method I'm going to assign values to all of these three attributes. All of these three attributes I'm going to assign the value within this set question method, okay? Alright, so this is our solution, right? This is the set question method, and what we're doing is we're passing three parameters here, 1, 2 and 3. So these three parameters are being used to assign values to our class attributes, to this class attribute answer, question text and marks, right? So all of these attributes are being assigned values here within this set question method. Alright, once we are done with set question, these are the get question these are the getter methods that we have to implement, right? This is where we are trying to read values of our attributes, right? So get question, get marks, get topic, get answer are the different methods that we've written when we want to read values from, when we want to read values of these attributes, right? And what we can see here within these methods within these four methods, right, that have been given, that all of these methods are returning values. For example, this get question method is returning a string value, this get marks method is returning an integer value, this get topic method is returning a string value, and this get answer method is returning a string value. So these are basically going to be implemented as functions because only functions return value. Alright, so let's take a look at our solution, and as we can see here that I have written down all of these four methods as functions, right? So this is what I've done. I've written four different methods and all of these have been written down as functions, right? And these are returning values. So this function, which is called get topic, is returning a string value. This function, which is identified by get answer, is returning a string value. And within these functions, within the body of these functions, we can see that the statement that we have is simply doing what? It is returning the value of question text. And remember, question text is our attribute, right? This is an attribute of the class. So all that this function here is doing, is it is returning the value of question text, right? So whenever this function is going to be called, it's going to return the value of our attribute question text. When this function is going to be called, it's going to return the value of our attribute marks. When this function is going to get called, it's going to return the value of our attribute topic. And when this function is going to get called, it is going to return the value of our attribute answer. So this completes the definition of our questions class. We've defined our class. Importantly, we've defined all attributes as private. Two of our attributes have been initialized within the constructor. Question ID and topic have been initialized within the constructor. And then we have assigned values to the remaining three attributes in the set question method, right? This is where we've assigned our values to the remaining three attributes: answer, question text, and marks. So basically all five attributes have been assigned values, right? So once we've done that, then we've implemented our getter methods, right? We've implemented our getter methods in which, with the help of these methods we are able to read values, right? And all of these methods have been implemented as functions, right? So all of these methods have been implemented as functions.